I am super excited because we're going in the bush. We're going to do a tractor camp out today. I'm going to camp in the back of this trailer. And we've got wood left over from my Oktoberfest. It is now like October 4th and the weather is beautiful and it's cooling off at night and it's back to the bush. It's back to real camping. No, not so much of the luxury camping that I did this summer. We're going to be camping in the back of that. Going to do some fishing. I'm going to show you some water purification and all that. So let's fire up the tractor and do some tractor camping. Long overdue. Oh man, that hits the spot. All right, it is step 2 time. The work is done, camp is set, and I have something dragging my bobber along. Well, they were just cleaning off my hook. And he got 8/10 of my worm. Oh well, there's a 10th left. So my Oktoberfest was a big success. It is Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest 2022. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, everybody. What a great time. What a beautiful day. Thank you for all the help and just thanks to everybody for everything.
Thank you!
Let him play some rock and roll. Let him play some rock and roll. Let him play some rock and roll.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. What a good time.
Hell of a party.
Yeah.
Hey, your party sucks, man.
Oh,
I don't care what he said.
We got a question this
next one. Right.
See those bus tracks over your chest, right?
The wood that was in this trailer was left over from the bonfire. And so I figured I'd stack it back here at the new pond location. There's a few things that I want to do today. I was pretty excited to just get back out in the bush, and I know this isn't entirely a bushcraft. This is more of a Steve Wallacey kind of thing. By the way, I hope he's doing okay. I'm excited for him to get back out again and get going, but I totally understand his situation. He's a big influence on me. The step 2s came from Steve, and the silliness, camping in a wagon like this, all this kind of stuff, it was inspired by Steve, because there are just so many different ways you can camp, and Steve has really shown that. Anyway, so one of the questions that people have asked me before is, do you leave your cell phone at home or do you bring it with you? Because they never seen my phone on my videos. Well, there's a reason behind that. I have a cell phone, and yes, I do bring it with me camping. A lot of times I play podcasts and stuff while I'm doing things around the campsite, or while I'm sitting around the campfire, if I have good internet connection. The reason you didn't see the camera is because I was always filming with it. Well, now I have a new camera, so you might notice an improvement in the audio, and you might notice an improvement in the video. Definitely the audio is something I needed to improve on, and my camera on my phone is starting to act up. So, but anyway, we're high rolling now. Moving up in the world. We're getting just a little more professional all the time. So anyway, I'm going to do some studio trickery here and show you my new camera. There she is, and all her glory, right there. My new camera. Well, it's not new, it's used. I got it used. And I also want to take this time to give a big shout out to Fox Optic. Fox Optic basically sponsored me by donating this awesome tripod. It's a carbon fiber. It's got like a ball bearing swivel thing below the camera mount. It's got the quarter 20 or whatever it's called. And yeah, so really stoked about it, and I just want to say a big thanks to Fox Optic. I don't know much about this camera yet. I'm still learning a little bit about it. It wasn't super expensive, but it was not cheap. So anyhow, just enjoying this beautiful day. But one of the things that I want to show is one time I was camping back out here this is the new pond location. One time I was camping here and I ran out of water, and somebody commented on my video, "Dude, there's an entire pond behind you." Good point. So I'm going to show you some different ways that we can make pond water drinkable. Alright, so we're going to do a little water purification here. There are a few different ways that I know of that we can turn that pond water behind me into something drinkable that won't make us sick. And the first and most common way is to boil it. So simply put some in a kettle and boil it. You can actually go to the government's website to see how long it needs to be boiled for, but I think it's like 2 minutes, but I'm going to double check on that. And the thing with boiling is it'll kill the bacteria and whatnot, but it might not taste very good because it's still going to have any nasty stuff from the pond. So one of the things that you can do is you can take a bandana or a piece of cotton t-shirt or whatever, and you can actually filter it. You can filter it a couple times to try to clear it up. But another thing you can do is you can treat the water. You can use iodine tablets, or you can use this stuff here. My buddy To The Point got me this. It's just a water purification thingamajig, and it treats up to 2.5 gallons of water. The next option is one of these filters that filters down to 0.1 microns. A lot of you may have heard of the Life Straw. This is similar to a Life Straw, but this is called the Sawyer Squeeze. And the Life Straw filters to, I think, 0.2 or 3 microns. And the Sawyer Squeeze is actually filters down to 0.1 microns. And I'll show you how it works. This is the filter itself, and it's got the direction of the flow. So the dirty water comes in here, and the clean water comes out here. What's cool about these is they are just the right size to fit on the top of, there's certain water bottles, I forget what it's called, but there are certain water bottles that these fit on, the kind with the pop tops, like this. They got the little, like that. They'll fit right on there. But what's also neat about this is you can put it in line if you have like a rainwater collection system or whatever. And the Sawyer Squeeze comes with 2 bags. So it gives you basically 1 bag to put dirty water in, 1 bag to put clean water in. But today I'm just going to use these old jugs that I got. But it's also got this straw. You can connect this straw on it, and you can actually stick this right in the water and drink right out of the pond. How cool is that? But we're not going to do that today because I want to show you the difference between the dirty water and the clean water. So this is the Sawyer Squeeze system. It's real simple. It comes with a little syringe thing here, and that's for back flushing it so that you can keep it clean, because you want to back flush it after you use it a few times. This right here is the Sawyer Mini. So this is even more compact version of the Sawyer Squeeze. I haven't even opened it yet, as you can see. So if you're on, let's say you're on a multi-day hiking trip and you can't carry, if you're backpacking through the wilderness, you can't carry fresh water with you for 4 or 5 days, right? You have to get your water along the way. This is an excellent way to do that. So I'm just going to take one of these jugs, I'm going to fill it up with pond water, and we're just going to check out how dirty it is. It's actually not as dirty looking as I thought, but it does have a considerable amount of dirt to it. So let's start with the water treatment, the purifier of water. Kudos to my buddy To The Point for hooking me up with this stuff. I'm definitely not measuring this out very scientifically, but that should be enough. That was almost half the package, which is way more than I needed. It says shake for 5 minutes. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, get down tonight. Next, the amazing rockstar farmer. He hits it out of the park. I'm pretty excited to be back in the bush. I don't know if you can tell. I had a long and stressful summer, and I hate summer. And it is now October. My Oktoberfest turned out great. It was a good crowd, good bands, good music, good food. And that is my annual celebration of summer is over, and I can finally stop sweating to death. And I could get out in the bush, mosquitoes, hopefully not be too bad tonight. It's supposed to be down in the 40s tonight. I got plenty of blankets. I'll be fine. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes, and now we let this sit. But you can see it's working its magic already. Notice how the chunks are starting to separate from the water. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? This stuff is like magic. So big shout out to my buddy To The Point. Pretty darn cool. if I don't say so myself. That's pretty neat. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit. It says shake, stir well for 5 minutes, and then it says let the water stand for 5 minutes. If water is not clear, stir again until separated. Then we filter it, then we wait 20 minutes. I'm gonna get some more of these. These would be good to put in a get-home bag or something like that. They'd be great for that. They're small, lightweight. Although, I gotta say, these you have a limited supply of water. With the Sawyer Mini, you've got unlimited supply. So, I don't know. Is the weight difference worth it in the pack? This could be packed a lot tighter. This is in the original packaging, so this doesn't weigh nothing. So, something to think about. Anyway, I'm going to check the time. Okay, 17:20. At 17:25, we'll filter this. Alright, it's been 5 minutes, so now we're going to filter it simply using our bandana. How cool is that? You can see all this stuff coagulated on the top. Alright, so I'm going to set that on the ground. I'm going to pour this into a clean bottle that I brought with me. Okay, got most of it in there. That's pretty clear. This is what you're left with on your bandana. Looks like somebody cleaned themselves up with it. That is a pretty big improvement. Alright, now it says to wait for 20 minutes. That's just probably so that the chlorine in it kills the bacteria. I've had a few bites, but nobody seems to want to get onto the hook. They cleaned my worm off my other pole several times. I'm not sure exactly how many fish are in this pond. I know about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years ago, did some fishing out of it, and it was excellent. And then, since I started doing In the Bush, I've only caught 1 fish out of it. And that was in episode, 23, maybe? Not sure. Not sure. I used to know all the episodes, but there's too many of them now. You'll notice behind me that the cattails have died off quite a lot. And the Meat Fest episode, I sprayed the cattails with a stuff called Catplex. And it's supposed to go down into the root system and kill out the root system so they don't come back every year. And so I did this front part of the pond here. I left the other cattails, but I'm eventually going to have to probably get rid of all of them, sadly, because they spread like wildfire. Now, I know they are a nutritious wild edible and everything, but for all matters of practicality, you know, I might leave some, enough that in a survival situation I would have some food. But I don't want to have them just spread back and just have to keep buying that stuff. But the stuff I sprayed is supposed to be aquatic safe. It's supposed to be safe for fish and wildlife and frogs and all that. I don't see any fish floating or dead frogs or anything, so I don't think it hurt anything. Like I said, I hate to kill off cattails because they're such a good wild edible, but you have to be able to approach the pond. I mean, there has to be a happy medium. You got to be able to get to the pond. So there's still quite a lot of cattails there, but hopefully next year this will all be open water. I'll tell you a funny story about this fishing pole. I got this fishing pole when I was a pretty young kid because I like the color neon green. It's my favorite color. And anyway, when I was in high school, I was fishing with my buddy Danny. Awesome guy, by the way. And he was using this pole, and he went to cast out and let go of the pole, and the pole went in the water. Went in the pond. We were both in the boat, and the pole went in the water. Well, anyway, a few years later, I went on a mission to recover this pole from the bottom of the pond. And I really didn't, I don't know, I guess I was just bound determined to recover this pole. And so I went out on a really bright sunny day, and I went to the area where I thought it was, and the water had been kind of clear, and I caught a shimmer of something. So I took another pole with I used a treble hook like is on this little lure, and I fished this pole out of about 12 feet of water. So I got my fishing pole back. You know, I'm not really big on fishing. I like it when they're biting. And it seems that the last few times I've went fishing, they haven't been biting. Another reason why I'm not big on fishing is I tend to spend most of my fishing day untangling fishing line or repairing fishing lines that have been broke because they get snagged and I can't retrieve it, or a fish swallows the hook, or just you name it. I just don't have a lot of patience for fishing, I guess. I have what I call a 30-minute rule, basically, and if I go to a pond and I start fishing, and if I haven't had a bite, not necessarily a fish, but if I haven't had a nibble by 30 minutes in, I quit, because your day could be spent better. Well, it's been 20 minutes. Here we have our clear water that we just purified with the purification packet, and here we have some pond water. So, dirty, clean. Here we go. That's good. I think that tastes better than my water at the house. It's I have tried this before. My buddy To The Point came over, but we used way too much of the packet, I think, and it was really chlorine-y tasting. This just tastes clean and pure, just tastes like filtered water that you'd have out of like a Brita thing. I guess we'll find out. Just kidding. Okay, so purification method number 2. We're going to use the square squeeze. This is guaranteed for 1 million gallons of water. So we're talking about a lifetime here. So I have some clean water from the house. This is the only water I brought from the house for this camp out. So I have to rely on this water that I got from the pond behind me, other than this one water bottle here. But I know this is good clean water. I'm gonna just prime it. I'm not even sure if you have to do this. I just figured it wouldn't hurt anything to do this. I'm just going to hook this little straw on it and suck it through. Okay, this is ready to use. Now, what I'm going to do, just to keep my filter a little cleaner, is I'm still going to take the dirty pond water, pour it in to the bandana. I washed the bandana out in the pond, and so I'm going to go ahead and filter this. I don't know if it'll clear it up any or not, to be right honest with you. I'd be curious to know. I filtered out enough to fill my kettle here, and let's just see if the bandana helped clear it up any. Just the bandana by itself. By the way, when you do this, if you have 2 bottles like me, make sure you don't mix the dirty water bottle with the clean water bottle. And I'm going to make sure and boil my kettle in the fire before I use it. Okay. The bandana did clear it up considerably. It seems to be a shade lighter of a yellow than it was before. So that was 2 layers of bandana. I had it folded over twice. So there's tons of videos on like Facebook and stuff, or not on Facebook, I mean YouTube and whatnot, about the Sawyer squeeze. But anyway, we're going to use the bag that's provided, and I'm just going to pour the water in. There we go. This is the dirty water. Now the idea is you squeeze the bag and the water comes through the filter. Or you can hang it up, I believe, from like a tree branch or something. Wow, that just perfectly filled that. Alright. You can hang it up from like a tree branch or something, and it will naturally drip out. Okay, so now we need to put this in something. I need to find another clear bottle. I'll be right back. Aha. I'm so confident in these water purification methods that I drank this, my clean water that I brought from the house. So, I'm going to be well hydrated. Alright, this is sort of clear. It'll give us a good idea of how well the Sawyer squeeze is working. Because I don't want to dump out my water that I treated with the purifier of water. So, here we go. I don't know how fast this is going to go. I guess we'll just find out. I'm just gently squeezing the bag. I'm not forcing it. Filters out 99.999% of bacteria. They have to leave that 0.0001% chance that it doesn't work. There are thousands of people that use these on campouts, and it's a very popular. Hikers love these, obviously, for the lightweightness and the fact that you can get water from a mud puddle if you have to. So having a bandana with you, I think, is a good plus for filtering it. But now I'm noticing that it definitely still has a yellowy color. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. You can't even tell on the camera. So, but looking down in it, I definitely see a yellowy color. Smells okay. Cheers. This is my first water from the Sawyer filter. It's delicious. Doesn't have much of a taste to it. Doesn't taste dirty, doesn't taste fishy. It's probably because there's no fish in there. No, there is. They've been biting on me all day. None of them want to stay on the hook. I can't find any more worms. I found 2. I am definitely well hydrated. So, I went ahead and filled my water bottle with the Sawyer squeeze water. And I've got this water now. I might do another bag full with the Sawyer squeeze, but I've got enough for a camp out. Pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. One of the things about this that's bad is I do a lot of sub-freezing camping, and this is not to freeze. So a lot of hikers and stuff, if it gets below freezing, they have to put this in their sleeping bag with them. If it says right on here, avoid freezing this filter. Freezing may ruin the filter. If the unit is suspected of being frozen, discontinue use and replace it. So that is one of the downfalls, is I do a lot of below freezing camping. So, but most of the camping that I do, I just bring water with me, so it's not a big deal. And if it's below freezing, there's almost always ice or snow that you can melt over the fire to drink. So really, I only need this during the summer months anyway. So that is 2 ways I just showed you that you can purify pond water. How cool is that? I've learned so much doing this in the bush thing, and it's just really neat. And there are other ways that you can do it too. I'm not going to boil water because everybody knows that you can boil water to survive. At least everybody should know that. That's a pretty common knowledge. But there's other ways that you can do it too. The other way I'm thinking of is distilling. You can distill water. One of the ways that you can distill water is you can put 2 glass bottles together, and you can heat one bottle with the dirty water, and it will condense on the other side and be drinkable. So distilling is another way you can do it. If you happen to have a still, it is legal in the United States to buy a still, as long as you don't happen to put any wine or beer or anything with alcohol in it, then it's legal. So yeah, that's another way to purify water. And it is a complete lie and untrue that distilled water would kill you. If you drank only distilled water and nothing else, maybe. They say because you're not getting the minerals or whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, it will hydrate you. Absolutely hydrate you, and you'll get your minerals from your food sources. So don't listen to that. If you need to use distilled water in a survival situation, it will hydrate you. All the work is now officially done, and I'm just sitting here enjoying this warm fire. It really cools off when the sun goes down. The humidity's so low. We've hit dew point though. I noticed that my table's wet and my blankets were a little wet. One thing I learned on the last camp out, I crawled into a wet bed and I was not very happy at all. I learned a valuable lesson. Always try out your bed. Even if you set it up early in the day, try it out. Make sure it's not lumpy. Make sure it's not wet. Big lesson learned there. I'm gonna get to cooking here pretty soon. And since I didn't catch any fish, I'm pretty bummed out about that. Since I didn't catch any fish, we're gonna have leftovers from my Oktoberfest. I've got a tray of cheesy potatoes here. All I gotta do is put some coals around it to heat it up. And, well, it's not an entire tray of cheesy potatoes, but there's some left. And then I've got a whole bunch of chips and dip and stuff, and I've got some brats left over. So all I got to do is heat everything up, and we'll be eating good in the bush tonight. Oh man, chili cheese brats. They are super good. Amazing. Johnsonville, I think. We had a priest at my church growing up when I was a kid. And he smoked a cigar. And he said cigars. He said, cigarettes are of the devil, but cigars are a gift from God. What a beautiful evening. The stars are so beautiful. Sleeping uncovered tonight, just in the back of this truck bed wagon. It's gonna be awesome. Super, super stoked. delicious pond water. Well, I slept great. I slept a solid 8 hours. I actually passed out while I was listening to a podcast at like 1:45 a.m. I don't know if I made it to 2 a.m. or not, but I was up by 10 o'clock this morning, feeling good. 8 hours of sleep, that's pretty cool. But I looked up and I noticed some really dark clouds, and it's supposed to rain at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to get the heck out of here. What I realized is great about this camping setup is I can just throw everything in the back of this trailer and I can just drive it to the house and back up to the front door. So it makes unloading from a camp out super easy. I don't even have to pack it up. Why pack it up twice? I can just pack it up at the house. So that works out great. I might have to use this wagon to go camping more often. It'd be pretty easy to build a shelter over the top of this wagon. Now my mind's rolling. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot. Hopefully you learned something about water purification. As always, I suppose I'll see you next time in the bush.